The skills that got you promoted or helped you build a successful client-facing business are the exact skills that will start burning you out as a leader. And this shows up whether you're leading a team inside a company or you're the one directly delivering results to clients. In this video, I'm going to explain exactly why that shift feels so difficult as you become more successful, and what you actually need to do in order to turn constant struggle into sustainable success. If you don't know me, my name is Isaac Lewis, and I've been a personal trainer for the past 11 years, where I've helped hundreds of people lose weight, boost their energy, and regain their health. And over the past 4.5 years, I've shifted to helping people, specifically in leadership roles, do exactly the same, as well as become stronger leaders. Why them? Because when I first started my coaching business, I was an absolute mess. I was on call 24/7, constantly firefighting. I had zero boundaries. I was people pleasing at my own expense. I'd stopped looking after myself, eating well, sleeping well. I was hardly training. And this is coming from someone who loves training and looking after their health and performance. It all built to the point that I was experiencing daily crippling anxiety and ended up burning myself out multiple times, where I had to have months off work. But fast forward to now, I lead around 50 people at any one time, between clients and team members in another role. I love the work that I do. I never get that Sunday night dread. I haven't experienced anxiety over the past 4 years. I'm in the shape of my life. I've run multiple half marathons, competed in various fitness competitions, and I'm able to manage all of those things and show up with great energy to the people that I'm leading. And I've helped almost 100 leaders inside Lead from the Front do exactly the same. From business owners losing over 80 pounds and growing their business, to managers recovering from burnout and being signed off work, to being back at work full time and securing multi-million-pound projects. And other coaches and personal trainers fall in love and enjoy their life and work again. So if you found that shift into a leadership role challenging, trust me, I've been there, I've come out the other side, and I've helped a lot of other people do the same. So in this video, I want to share what you actually need in order to make that transition much more successful, so that you don't burn yourself out as a leader. Now, just before I get stuck into that, I wanted to let you know I've put together a completely free 2-minute scorecard called the Complete Leaders Audit. And it shows you exactly where you might be leaking energy across your training, stress, boundaries, communication, and general self-care and habits. It takes about 2 minutes to complete, and it will give you a personalized score and recommendation of exactly what you need to focus on in order to perform at your best as a leader. If you want to take that, just hit the link in the description. When you transition into a leadership role, whether that's leading a team, working with clients directly, or a combination of both, it feels so challenging because there is a big identity shift that's going on. You are going from being the one doing the work to the one leading the work, which is why technical excellence and expertise does not equal effective leadership, and is more often than not the actual bottleneck that stops you from being effective as a leader and leads you to burning out down the line. Because if you know how to do the work, and you're obviously very good at that, but you don't know how to help other people become good at doing the work, you will default to, oh, it's just easier for me to do it myself, and do it on your own. And in the short term, yes, you will actually make that problem go away. And it will probably feel quite good on your ego because you feel important, you feel needed, you feel wanted, like you are super valuable, that no one else can replace you. But in the long term, that problem is going to come back and bite you in the ass, because the clients and team members that you're supposed to be leading will actually become dependent on you, as you're just doing it for them all of the time. And it's at this point, months or years down the line, that you begin to resent your job, you begin to resent the people that you're supposed to be leading, you begin feeling incredibly stressed and stop looking after yourself, and at worst, can end up completely burnt out and off sick, or giving it up, starting a different business, or getting a different job. I don't want that for you, and I know you don't want that either, because it sucks. So here are the key shifts that you need to make in order to go from constant struggle to sustainable success within your leadership role. The first shift that we need to make is that we are actually moving from being the achiever to being a multiplier. And what that means is that you're going from a ratio of 1-to-1 to 1-to-many. So what this means is that there's you here, and you, when you are an achiever, you are the one doing the work yourself. But when you are a multiplier, you are going from being the one doing the work to actually multiplying the results that you get, because you are basically helping and empowering other people to do the work. So when you are here, you are stuck with the amount of impact you can make, but when you start doing it one to many, that's when you become a multiplier and massively scale your impact. So take me for example. Back when I had first started working on my health and fitness and looking after myself, I was doing the work and I was getting the result. But compared to where I'm at now, I'm actually working with about 50 people at any one time in various capacities between clients and team members. And actually 3 of those people within here are coaches themselves and team members. So they are then working with clients. So I'm actually making a much bigger impact. So it's more me leading, but the result of that is actually I'm multiplying my impact by 1 to 150 because of the clients that they're working with as well. So that is the first big shift that we need to make. We need to go from being the achiever to being a multiplier. The next big shift we need to make is from focusing on having control to focusing on having influence. Now, these 3 circles represent what you have control over. Apologies, I am going to go over the lines because I'm not very good. This one here is influence, but it's so small I can't actually write the word influence. So that is the middle one. And then up here is the circle of concern. These are things that will concern you, but you actually have neither control or influence over. When you focus on influence, again, the same thing happens. You have control, you have a certain amount of things that you can control. You have your circle of concern, that these things concern you, but you also don't have direct control over. Apologies that I'm going over the lines, that probably is stressing some of you out. It's actually stressing me out. But the last thing is focusing on what can we influence. And this is where that shift of being a multiplier, we are now empowering other people and influencing other people to now achieve outcomes. And what you can see is that when you focus on control to influence, the things that are within your control are fairly similar, but the influence aspect becomes much, much larger. You get what you focus on. And our focus as a leader is moving from focusing on what can we control to what can we influence positively. And the more we focus on that, the more our influence grows. People are now the main challenge and thing that will drive impact, not you doing the tasks. So we need to shift the focus from how can I get this done to how can I empower other people to get this done. In order to do that well, you need to understand people, how to get the best out of them, how to keep them accountable, how to help them take responsibility for things, and build a relationship with them so that you both enjoy this process. So now you understand more around that shift you need to make, I want to share with you a simple 3-step framework that I use with clients inside Lead from the Front. This is the Lead from the Front blueprint, and the bit I want to focus on within this video is to help taking you from feeling like you're faking it to being able to lead with impact. And there are 3 key steps that you need to do in order to do that successfully. You need to have clear communication, you need to be able to build trusted relationships with the people that you're leading, and you need to help improve other people's skills through empowered leadership. And here is the 3 steps that you need to ask yourself in order to do that successfully. For clear communication, you need to ask yourself one question. Are we both explicitly clear on the right next steps? So that when you leave the conversation, you both could literally have a written checkbox of exactly what needs to be done that you could then put ticks in. If you are both not clear on what the right next steps are, you haven't been clear enough. And this cannot be vague, it cannot be ambiguous, it needs to be so clearly defined that it is literally like a checklist that has no room for negotiation. When both parties are super clear, that is when you have communicated very clearly. The next bit is around building trusted relationships, and this is where a lot of leaders go wrong. So the question I want you to ask yourself is, delivering the message in this way, at this time, building the relationship. Or is it actually going to cause the relationship to break down? This is why choosing what you say, how you say it, and the environment in which you say it is so important, because you need to build trusted relationships with people you're leading. Otherwise, they're going to resent you and they will be looking at the first opportunity they can get in order to leave and find something else. So you need to stop before delivering something and ask yourself, is delivering the message in this way building the relationship? So for example, communicating when you're in a high emotional or triggered state, when you're very cross about something, generally never leads to a very good outcome. It will make you feel good in the moment, but it will actually make things worse and usually break down the relationship afterwards, which is why emotional control is such an important skill as a leader. Lastly is empowered leadership. So you'll know that you're doing empowered leadership when you can answer this question: am I improving the other person's confidence and autonomy to do this themselves? That is why doing the work yourself, or, oh, I'll just do it for you, is a big fat cross in this, because you are not improving someone else's ability to go and take ownership and autonomy of doing these things yourself. When you are actually able to say, yes, I am improving someone else's ability and confidence to do this themselves, that is when you've got a big fat tick. And that is exactly why I'm sharing this framework with you, is because this is me doing empowered leadership so that I can show you how you can improve your confidence and autonomy to lead with impact. The goal here is to put a tick in each box. Have I done clear communication? Are we both clear on the right next steps? If yes, there's a tick. Have I delivered this message in a way that is building the relationship? If yes, that is a tick. Have I improved the other person's confidence and autonomy to do this themselves? If yes, you get a tick. And it's when you've got a tick in all three areas, that is when you are going to be leading with impact. Your old operating system worked before because you were the one doing the work yourself. Now, success in your role or business is dependent on helping other people do the work successfully. So just like Apple updates its iOS, you need to update your operating system as you transition into this new identity as a leader. It doesn't need to be overwhelming. It is a skill that you can practice, and that framework is the best place to start. In summary, if you are struggling with that transition into being a leader, you have to understand that this is a very normal identity shift that happens. But with the right support, frameworks, and action steps, it does not need to be as uncomfortable as it feels right now. We need to shift from achiever to multiplier and shift from control to influence. I really hope you found that valuable. Thank you so much for watching. And if you did find it useful, the next step I would recommend you take is to go and take that free scorecard. The link is in the description. It'll take 2 minutes and it will highlight exactly what you need to focus on, whether it's your personal leadership, your health and fitness, or leadership of others. Just hit the link in the description to take it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.